Well, if you ask me where I come
Hey, what's going on, truckers? Hey, this is Ed with Redneckanize Radio. This is our last show of the year. I hope everybody's having a great Christmas. I was just thinking Christmas starts as soon as that trucker gets home because most of his stuff he spends out there. He's always just kind of, out on the road by himself. And when he gets home, he's got a whole week off. Maybe he's only got a few days, but it's whenever you get home. That's when Christmas starts. So I want to thank hope all the truckers out there having a great Christmas so far. If you made it home, and hope you're working your way home, and hope you have a Merry Christmas and all that. We were just talking about the trucking news and things going on out there in the world, and of course, we all heard about this horrendous crash back in, I think it was 2018. I think it was either that or 19, probably in 2019, and the driver was sentenced to 110 years in prison, and there's a lot of backlash from that, and some boycotts and some protests and everything. So we're going to talk about that and dive into that a little bit, and there's already been some reaction to it here on YouTube and Facebook. So we'll talk about those things and everything. Also, we saw Central Freight Lines after 96 years they closed up shop, leaving a lot of truckers just stranded and just without a place to go because they had no idea. And we'll talk about that a little bit too tonight. And then I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but I was pretty much amazed, man. I caught the first episode of 1883, which is the Yellowstone origin story. And after the first episode, I said it. I said it out loud. I'm hooked. I'm done. And I caught about 5 minutes of the second episode. There's two episodes out already. That's on the Paramount Plus network. If you guys ain't got that yet, it's different from where you go to watch the Yellowstone show. Of course, it's not on TV, but it's on Paramount Plus. They might show the first episode on the Paramount Network channel on cable, it because they did that with Mayor of Kingstown, which is a pretty good show if you haven't seen that. So we'll check that out and see how that works out. But if you've seen it, give me a holler. And this here is Redneckanize Radio. You can call in 516-387-1733. Be part of the conversation. Just hit one, and we're just going to rock along here. This is just you truckers talking about life on the road and everything from in trucking and then some. So this is Redneckanize Radio. Let's go.
to love my wife and raise my kids. Hey, the same way that my daddy did. With the stars and stripes and the eagles fly. We're the stars and stripes and the eagles fly.
We'd like to thank one of our supporters, DPF Regeneration. The folks at DPF Regeneration have always looked out for truckers. Today's technology in big trucks has gotten more and more complicated when it comes to those particulate filters. DPF filters need to be serviced, cleaned, and sometimes replaced, and DPF Regeneration handles it all. They have the knowledge, the network, and the inventory to get what truckers need to stay out on the road making money. Give them a holler at 800-634-3010 or check them out at www.webachem.com. DPF Regeneration.
All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back. Hey, this is Redneckanize Radio. We are live here Sunday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 516-387-1733. Check out our website, redneckanize.com. We want to thank one of our great sponsors, and that's DPF Regeneration. Those guys have been stepped up, and they've helped us for a while now. It's one of those one-stop shop places where you go to check out, your all your particulate filters, get them cleaned or get the parts changed, stuff like that. And they even got they sell the filters or they clean them. You ship them out to you. They got a lab where they actually clean them. They actually take clean area where they can get it clean, and they also have a way to get it back to you, and it's just a really cool outfit they got going there. They've been in business for a while, been doing it a long time. Excellent knowledge of the diesel engines and of course the new technology. So go check them out at dpfregeneration.com, or you can give them a call at 800-634-3010. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them you appreciate them for supporting Redneckanize, because we really do appreciate them. So to rocking back here, let's keep it going. I mean, we were talking about a lot of different trucking issues here for a while, and this here is the last episode, the last radio show of the year. The only Sunday that's left in the year is, of course, the day after Christmas, which I'll be traveling. I won't be, anywhere near a computer that's, capable of doing this stuff for us. So we just gone ahead and end it here and have a great time. And of course, there's a lot of things to talk about. One of the things that I thought was a big deal was Central Freight. Central Freight closed down. Anybody that's out there in the trucking business, they've seen it. If you've traveled, especially in the Southeast or Southwest, um, parts of Colorado, and Kansas, Oklahoma, the California, Arizona. I mean, everywhere. Central Freight line, the Central Freight lines is what it is, based out of Waco, Texas, and they were started over 96 years ago. And I mean, they were like, I mean, even I mean, every location I went to outside their front, like their main area where you got the flagpoles and the main entrance, and all that. They've always had like an old Model A or Model T Ford truck sitting out there with the with the rails on the side of it, with Central Freight lines attached to it, because when they started, that's that's all that was available to haul. So they've been around a long time, and here now we just found out that they just closed up shop. I mean, they just decided, you know what, we're done. And I the biggest surprise to me was that the people that were most shocked to see that happen were the drivers that work for them. When I saw it, I'm like, well, it finally happened. That's when I saw it. That's what I thought. It finally happened, because I thought that they were going to go out of business 20, 25 years ago. Um, they would always been operating out of, older facilities, and they were still using, especially parts of Dallas, they were using the original yards were way too small, and you can just see that the way they were doing things. I mean, I think I went to one place. I forgot where it was. It was either in Fort Worth uh, or somewhere in Texas, somewhere maybe in Abilene. They were still using those hand trucks on their warehouse, where you know you had a little platform with wheels, you put boxes or whatever on top of it, and then you use one of those big leverage lifters where it was a big piece of wood with steel wheels at the bottom of it, and you just scooped up under it and lifted it up, and then you could roll it. And they were still using that stuff. I mean, that stuff still had boxes and freight on top of it. They had a couple of forklifts, but not that many. And they were just still using the old technologies and everything. And you thought, well, that's smart, because that stuff never goes away. It will last forever. But it's not efficient when you're trying to get stuff in and out of trailers real quick and get it down the road. It just doesn't happen. But we saw financial problems when I was trucking over the road back in the late '90s and 2000s. I saw Central Freight always have money problems, and you saw a lot of contractors with other carriers like Knight and Swift and Schneider, um, and uh, what was the other one in there? Even JB Hunt had to go in there, and they didn't have Central Freight drivers. They had to get other drivers because they just didn't have enough. And of course, that those companies, they want they're not going to do it cheap if they got to cover another business like that. There was even reports, I remember one time, the founder and owner CEO of Swift had actually taken controlling interest ownership of Central Freight Lines, and then of course the family owned business didn't like that, so they pretty much hawked everything to come up with the cash to buy him out, to get him out of there. And they didn't want him controlling it, because he was all set to make Central Freight part of Swift, and we all know how that goes down. Swift is just like a big, you know, uh, what you call it, juggernaut. That's what that just, I mean, they just swallow everything that they come in contact with, and you see that keep going and keep going. So over the years, we saw Swift take over a bunch of different companies. Even before, I was pulling trailers. I used to drive for Swift when I first started, and when I was pulling trailers, we were pulling trailers all different companies because those companies they were bought out by Swift, basically it was because the company wasn't it wasn't the company that Swift wanted. It was the customers, and that's how all that happens. And so now, you know, Central Freight, same way. The LTL business is kind of like, it's expensive, and if you want customers, you're going to have to make money, and you're going to have to provide a really good service. And I just don't think Central was capable of doing that. They were undercutting the freight, and then they had to pay their drivers well because drivers were getting paid well to do LTL. So if you wanted your driver to stay around, you're going to have to pay them well, but you kept undercutting the freight. So that you couldn't that wasn't going to work, so they weren't making any money, and they just got into debt too far, and then that was it. They were done. So so uh, uh there was some reports. I don't know if y'all saw. I got some links to some news articles and everything, but there were reports that some drivers had showed up. They told them, like, the thing got announced last week, like Sunday morning, and then they said they weren't going to pick up any freight Monday, but they were going to finish out the week delivering the freight they had. Well, some drivers had reported that in certain cities, they tried to come into work Tuesday morning to continue delivering the freight that was there, and the doors were all locked. Nobody showed up. Like, the bosses were gone. So I don't know if the freight got delivered or not. The drivers expected to finish the week. They expected to go in on Monday. I guess if they heard about it on Sunday, they went into Monday saying, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" Some of them showed up on Monday not even knowing it. I've had friends where I sent them the link to the Central Freight closing. They had friends that worked for Central, and he called him. He said, "Hey, you guys know about this?" They go, "No, we have no idea." And that was a shock to me. And of course, they show up Monday, and they get told on Monday that this is your last week, so you will work the rest of the week. But then they show up Tuesday morning, and there's nothing there. And there's drivers that have been with them for 40, 45 years. And I'm not even real sure if they have. I hope that they had benefits, and they had some retirement money going in and all that, because if you're a big company these days, that's your biggest draw, is that you provide good benefits and you provide a good 401k or retirement program. Those kind of things are what drives the big companies that draws them. You not only are they going to have to pay well, but they're going to have to provide excellent benefits like that. And I just hope those drivers were getting that, because as far as a company like Central, to be so far in debt where they couldn't just, they had to just go ahead and say no, you know, then I don't even know if their stuff's still available. Maybe it's worthless. You know, there might be you might be seeing court cases now going after those drivers, trying to make sure they get access to any of that money that they had coming to them. There were a lot of drivers. I knew a lot of drivers at Central. They'd been there, like you said, 20, 30, 40 years, and they were just, you know, three or four, maybe even 1 or 2 years away from retirement, and then boom, nothing. So now, let's just hope they get that money, and that's just crazy. So we'll see about that. I didn't see any articles of any kind of other media people asking that question. What's up with the drivers? We knew that a bunch of other trucking businesses went out of business, and drivers were out over the road, and then they were stuck. Their fuel cards were shut off, and everything. Their owner operators that had done lease purchases through these companies, and they said, "Well, just give me my lease. I paid the truck off. Give me my lease." And the bank said, "No, that lease is not paid. That lien on that truck is still, you still owe money." And he's like, "Well, I paid them. They took the money and ran." In fact, that owner, so that was a Arrow truck. I think it was Arrow Truck Lines. They were out of Tulsa. So that kind of deal. So, that's I think it's important for drivers, especially company drivers, to pay attention to their company, and to always know, is your company all right? They're paying their bills? You are they debt free? Are they not debt free? Are they going to get bought out? Are they going to have to transition? You never know. I remember when MS Carriers, it was kind of just a merger. It wasn't really a buying out, but MS Carriers just said, "We're going to merge with Swift, and it's all going to become Swift." Well, the MS Carrier drivers, and now these drivers, they were probably, 15, 20 years driving for MS carriers. I mean, they had the nice trucks, they always wore uniforms, stuff like that. They were getting paid pretty good. When you talk about, at that time, Swift was paying, I think, 26, 27 cents a mile. MS carrier drivers were getting paid like, 35 cents a mile. And they just said, "All to hell with this. I ain't working for Swift," and they quit. Well, then they get called by their old supervisors at MS Care, say, "Hey, man, everything's fine. And everything, you can come back." And then they come back, and of course, it was so long; it was like 6 months or almost a year when all this happened over the course of this transition over. When those other drivers or those dispatchers started calling the drivers, and the drivers were like, "Okay, I'll come back then. You were good to me." And they say, "Yeah, I can still take care of you. It's nothing different." And they get back there, and all of a sudden they say, "Well, we're going to start you out at 28 cents a mile." Well, I was making 35. And they say, "Well, that was the old pay package. If you would have not quit, you would have kept that 35 cents a mile. But because you quit, you are now a Swift driver, not a MS carrier driver." And, you know, I mean, that's the way it rolls. Get your information before you fire that gun. I tell you that, make sure you know every detail. That's the only advice I can tell you. But that kind of stuff, that's the way trucking is. Drivers will do stuff, and then you realize, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't have made that call. And sometimes that's what is it? Drivers will always tell you, I'm. Uh, it's like I don't have any regrets because I made a lot of mistakes anyway. So you might as well not might as well not have any regrets because I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. And you just got to live with it. And a lot of those choices are the things we do of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the way it is, and that's trucking there. Central Freight Line's closed after 96 years of being in business, and they just shut the doors. So a lot of land's going to be bought, a lot of equipment's going to be bought. So there's going to be a lot of moving around. You're going to see a lot of things change. I've already seen customers calling trying to get their carriers. They're like, "Hey, we were using Central for everything. Now we need somebody else." And the carrier was like, "Yeah, we'll haul your freight." And they're like, "Well, how much is it going to cost?" And they're like, "Wait a minute, that's twice as much." And he said, "Well, that's the way it is because Central was giving it to you cheap. So you were getting the good, and you're gonna have to start paying more now because Central Freight was undercutting. That's the way it goes." So yeah, but yeah, that's the way things are, and that's the way it happens. So Redneckanize Radio here. Check us out, redneckanize.com. And don't forget to make sure you go and register for the truck show. That's in March. It's truckingshow.com. Check that out and make sure you register. We're going to be there. We're going to be in booth 74108 at the truck show, the Mid-America Trucking Show there in Louisville, Kentucky. And we are getting all set up there. Hopefully everything goes smooth. Be in the parking lot again like always, and having a great time there. So check that out, redneckanize.com. Don't forget to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody doing that for us. We're also on Facebook Live. We appreciate everybody listening there. And you call in if you want to leave a comment or say something or whatever. Call in 516-387-1733. We appreciate everybody doing that. Stay with us. This is Redneckanize Radio.
She's the first thought in my mind each time I try to think. Let me tell you now, friend, don't make her, she's all I've got. Please don't take her love away from me. I'm begging you, friend, don't make her, she's all I've got. She's everything in life I'm ever gonna need. She's my fingers when I want to feel. She's the only thing in life to me that's really real. She is love.
This week's episode is sponsored by LTR Transportation. Come be part of a great carrier celebrating a new year with new trucks and new growth. Check them out at ltrtransportation.com or give them a call at 720-277-0030. Thank you, LTR, for being supporter of Redneckanize. Redneckanize, common sense solutions for an uncommon world.
Got my steel horse saddled up again, running down that road. I'm too far away from home right now, on and on I go. That morning foggy like a sleep, driving me insane. Every night is dark as the coffee running through my veins. I got stuck in a traffic jam on 285. It was a major wreck, they said. Nobody made it out alive. And that was miles ago, but that image stays burned into my brain. Every night is as dark as the coffee running through my veins. This highway is a part of me. You ain't ever truly understand. Most will never get to see places that I've been. There's some things I hope I'll never see again. Well, I've been gone for 2 weeks now, lost all sense of time. The highway only leads me on and hypnotizes by its dotted line. I got 100 miles to make it home, but every digit on the dash slowly change. And the night is as dark as the coffee running through my veins. In this crazy world, I'm thankful every time I make it home. And give credit to the man above for another day. And I'll be glad when I see that crack of dawn, cause the night is as dark as the coffee running through my veins. And the night is as dark as the coffee running through my veins.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, this is Ed with Redneckanize Radio coming at you. You're live here every Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. You can call in at 516-387-1733. And be sure to check out our website, redneckanize.com. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody doing that. It has been growing a lot. Great. I've just been so excited about it, and looking forward to doing more and more on YouTube. And, of course, we are on Facebook Live. Appreciate everybody listening for that. And don't forget to go check out one of our great sponsors, and that is the LTR Transportation, Load to Ride Transportation. They are a good-sized trucking outfit out of Denver, Colorado. They they came to us. Actually, we went to them. One of their drivers is a good volunteer for the Redneckanize nonprofit, and so we got them to help us sponsor and get the word out. And it's good, just a great bunch of people over there, and we couldn't be more thrilled to it. They got some new trucks, new equipment. They've been expanding a lot and getting new customers. They do all the stuff. They do the hazmat and all the special handling stuff, the temperature protection, expedited, all that kind of stuff. So if you want a place where you can stay busy, you go check out LTR Transportation. You can see them at ltrtransportation.com, Load to Ride Transportation, or you can give them a call at 720-277-0030. And make sure when you talk to them, you tell them that you appreciate them supporting Redneckanize, because we really do appreciate them. So we're going to dive into a little stuff, the news that has been going on in Colorado, in the Denver area. There was a crash that happened a while back where it was a big truck that was coming down the hill, brakes failed, and then there was stop traffic or slow traffic due to another accident, like a fender bender. And this was in April of 2019 on Interstate 70 west of Denver. And of course, west of Denver, they were coming down the big hill and the brakes failed. And the driver just didn't, according to the prosecution, there were at least two of those escape ramps that the driver went right by. And then when it got down, I don't know how far, but a lot of times you come to stop traffic coming down that hill. I mean, you're still, That's why the speed limit is like 30 miles an hour for trucks, because the traffic can stop. Because as soon as you get to the bottom of the hill, you're in the city of Denver. You're in city traffic. It's city highway. I mean, there's parts of it right there at the bottom where it's 3 or 4 lanes wide. And I mean, if there's no traffic, a truck can do 80, 90 miles an hour easy using gravity, so that's even swift. So, watch out for them. But, and that's so a lot of times there can be stuff going on where it's crowded and there's going to be slow traffic. So you got to take it easy. Well, this driver just came down there and of course, barreling through there. I mean, uh, it was really bad because it punctured a lot of gas tanks and the gasoline caught fire, and of course it just burned and melted cars. It killed 4 people. And so this driver got sentenced to 110 years in jail. And the reasoning for that was the judge said that uh, the state of Colorado has really strict sentencing laws, mandatory sentences for the counts. So there were several counts for there was a vehicular homicide and uh, uh, what was it called? Neglection. Like uh, what is it called? Neglect homicide, or resulting, from neglection or whatever. And then of course there was vehicular stuff, and then all failure to maintain control and everything like that. So using all those mandatory sentences for the 4 counts and all that stuff, the judge just in sentencing this, got found guilty on all charges, and then the next day or the week or whatever, the judge did this crazy sentence of 110 years. So a lot of people thought, it's because he's Hispanic, because the guy's name, I mean, his name is what was it called, Aguilera Maderos. And I don't know exactly where he's from. Some people says he's has some ties to Houston, but this article in the Trucker, this is a pretty good article that I found. And it was social media is currently on fire with calls for a trucker to boycott Colorado after a former trucker received 110 years in prison for a crash that killed 4 people in 2019. The sentence, many contend, was far too much. And like I said, he's 25 years old now. So that's 2020. So he would have been 23. So I'm it doesn't really say. I'm trying to see, like, how long the driver been driving, because a lot of times a lot of the big stories from drivers' point of view, from my point of view, what we can see, a lot of drivers on YouTube and Facebook that I know, we all see that the driver was very inexperienced, and the driver probably I mean, some say he only had 6 months experience. And I have not seen, any verification of that, like from, you know news source or anything like that. But that's the problem, is that these and of course there was a couple of other people that said the same thing, is the company is liable, because the trucking company had already settled several of the lawsuits that came from the victims' families, monetary wise. But what a lot of these truck drivers will tell you, that ain't enough. You need to hold these carriers' feet to the fire. And that's all well and good. And I agree with that. If you're going to say, hey, we trained this guy, but you really didn't, and we're going to stick him in a truck, and we're going to watch him and make sure he doesn't do anything bad, but you really don't. And then we're going to make sure we don't give him anything that he can't do, which you don't either. And you just throw him to the fire, you throw him to the wolves. I say it all the time, as a driver, a new driver, your first year is going to be your worst year, because you're going to make a ton of mistakes. And this driver here, he made one really bad mistake. Um, and it really, it was the brakes gave out. It was and they say mechanical failure. You know, I don't know what that means. You know, what do you call parts of this article says, in response to brewing boycott, which was taken on the hashtag no trucks to Colorado, the Colorado Motor Carriers issued the following statement on Twitter. It says, feel for driver, no trucks for Colorado, has some info that is not accurate. Not mechanical failure, brakes gave way due to inexperienced driver traveling. in mountains above posted speed limit, not gearing down. Overheated brakes gave way. He knew of hot brakes, yet bypassed runaway truck ramp. So that's, I guess some of the people that are boycotting said, hey, the brakes gave out. Well, the brakes give out. Brakes always give out. Uh, and that's mechanical failure. And that's not right. The driver overheated them. So that was what happened. The driver didn't gear down. You know, I mean, sometimes you think you geared down. You think gearing down might be just one gear. No, you need several, especially going down that Colorado mountain. Like I said, there's chances. Speed limit, I think, is 35. In most cases, going down those big hills, the speed limit is 35. Um, you might be able to slow down to 35, but that doesn't mean the truck's going to be able to maintain that without burning the brakes. So you're going to have to gear down, maybe even one gear lower than you need, and then just go slow. You know, speed limit's 35. That means you can go 20. Some people are going to hate it. Even big trucks will hate it, but you're going down the hill and you're not going to kill nobody. So that kind of thing, that's a big deal. Uh, the one thing though, I'll tell you is that, this inexperienced thing was a big deal. And I'll even go a little further than a lot of these people saying the carrier needs to be held liable. And I'll tell you right now, you know who needs to be in jail? Are your government officials. Okay. You want somebody to be held accountable? Your government officials need to be held accountable. The government, okay, said that this guy could drive. Now, could this guy drive very well? Probably not. Okay. Did the company bring him in and put him in a truck all by himself as soon as he got out of truck driving school? No, they didn't. They probably sent him with a trainer. Okay. When you, let's say a new person that's never driven truck before wants to be a truck driver, they got to go to truck driving school. Truck driving school is only a month long, sometimes 6 weeks, but mainly 3 to 4 weeks long is about it. Puppy mills, we call them. And what do you call the the drivers come in like that and they get shipped like that and then they go take a test. Okay. As soon as they take that test at the truck driving school will take them up to the office, the DMV, DPS, whatever you want to call it, to get their CDL. The government gives them a written test and a road test. They pass those, they get a CDL. According to the government, they're good to go. Do whatever they want. Go out, drive truck, buy your own truck, start your own company, do whatever you want, become an owner operator, do whatever you want. The government says you're good to go. Now you go hire onto a carrier, they're going to give you a road test. They're going to say, you know what? You need about 6 weeks of training. You need about 4 weeks of training. You need the skills that you've got, they need to be refined a little bit better. And you need more training. Okay. But the government, they say that you're good to go. So you tell me who is worse off. You want to hold a company's feet to the fire? That's fine. Okay. But who said that they were good to go when they weren't? We know they weren't. The government said they were good to go. So if we want to play this world we live in, I don't like it. I don't like having to, I want to live in a world where everybody takes is account for their own actions. But guess what? We don't live in that world. We live in a world where government is God. Okay. People go to government for handouts. People go to government to prosecute people that did them wrong. People go to government to sue rich companies because they did them wrong. You go to government for all your answers because you think you got done wrong. Well, you know who's doing you wrong? The government is doing you wrong. Okay, they said that driver was good to go. That's who said that. The first entity of power that told you, the citizens out on the highway, the first power that told you that driver was good to go was the government. That was it, the government. Okay? The company, the reason why the companies don't go to jail is because the law says as long as they've got a CDL, they're good to go. Now you can require. Now OIDA said this, and a lot of people say this. We all say this, that there needs to be some type of standards written into the law that requires people to go through a certain amount of training. but there is no law that does that. So we rely on the the goodness of the companies to provide good training, and some of them don't, some of them do. Some of them don't even hire the inexperienced drivers. You got to have at least 1 to 3 years experience. So when you're talking about hiring new people, the first person is the government. They're telling them, you know, and like I said, we live in a world where everybody wants the government to control everything. Who's controlling the government? Who's calling them out? You know, and now, I mean, we could just roll right into this one. The president now has come out with a new initiative to help out with the supply chain issues and want to streamline and make it easier for people to go to the DMV to get a CDL. Hello? It should be damn hard. If you want good training, then being able to make it easier to go and take a test. What are you going to make the test shorter? You got to make the test harder. We see that. But that means it's going to be more difficult. That means it's going to take longer. And all the ATA and people like Swift and JB and Schneider and all them, they all want everything to be simple and quick. So they can get drivers out. We need new drivers. We need drivers out on the road. Nope. Nope. Not if you're going to let them go like that. You're not the ones getting, it's like the company takes on the risk. They're the ones that are going to get blamed. And the drivers are taking on a risk. I mean, you wonder why there's a driver shortage. It's because if the driver has an accident and he's going to get sentenced to 110 years in jail, then why would I risk? Why would I go out there and risk it for 40 cents a mile? Why would I do that? I want to get paid. If things are going to happen to where if I have an accident and my life is going to be essentially over, then I want all the money now. That's why the NFL players get paid really, really good, is because their career doesn't last that long. Well, from this standard here, truck drivers' career is not going to last very long either, because accidents happen and drivers make mistakes. And the whole other issue is that, was this 110 appropriate or not? And I'll talk about that too here later on. But again, I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest culprit of causing these accidents is, well, I guess you could say it's our reaction to the role of government, because the government, we think the government as the people that are looking out for us. Well, if it's too damn easy to get a CDL, and they're the ones that have, they're the first line, and they said that guy was good to go. So who's to blame? I mean, they're not even the ones, like I say, you got to go get training. Well, does the government train you? No, the government doesn't train you, but the government tests you. The government makes sure, did you get trained? Let's see if you got trained. Take this test. If you got trained, then you should pass this test. He passed the test. He was good to go. And no, he wasn't. He was not good to go. So yeah, that's what it boils down to. And we're going to continue talking about it all. And I got more things to say about it, including whether or not 110 years was appropriate or not. And then we're going to dive into just, what things going on. How's everybody doing for the holidays and all that? So let's get with it. But it's you can call in at 516-387-1733. And if you want to be part of the conversation, just hit 1. Be sure to go check out our website, Redneckanize, redneckanize.com. It's and check out our website, or my YouTube channel. YouTube channel is a big deal. We're so proud of it, and I hope everybody goes over there, subscribes and everything. And it's growing. We're loving it to death. If you're on Facebook Live, once you go jump over to YouTube, if you've got a cell phone and it's an Android, and you think, well, I don't use YouTube, so I don't know how to set all that up. It's already set up. Okay. Android is part of YouTube. It's all the same. The phone, the company YouTube that owns YouTube is Google. The people that own the software that's in your phone is Google. They've already got it set up. So all you got to do is click on, open it, and say, I agree, and then you're done. And you can just go subscribe. It's all piece of cake and all that. But be sure to check out our website, redneckanize.com. And go over to truckingshow.com and register for the truck show in March 24th. We're going to be in booth 74108. and we're excited about that. I tell you what, it's coming up, and we're ready to get back to it. We hope everything is good to go. We'll talk about more about that stuff too, with the truck show, and make sure it's not going to get canceled, hopefully. But we'll talk about all that stuff too, and kick on around here, and just keep it going. This is Redneckanize Radio.
Trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. Ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing broom buys a 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a lazy yellow moon coming up tonight, shining through the trees. Crickets are singing and lightning bugs are floating on the breeze. Baby, get ready. Across the field where the creek turns back by the old stumble road, I'm gonna take you to a special place that nobody knows. Baby, get ready. Ooh, you and me go fishing in the dark, lying on our backs and counting the stars where the cool grass grows.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, this is Ed with Redneckanize Radio, and we just kind of transition over because I record these and I want to cut them up and put them on YouTube later. So we just kind of take a little break and switch songs, and then come back, and then everything's nice and smooth. So if you're listening along, and you're kind of like, I thought you were gonna have a commercial. Nope, no commercials. If you like the commercials, let me know though, because I have a part in making those too. So we're making sure everything's good to go. Be sure to go check out our website, redneckanize.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you could, please. We've been growing that a lot, and we really do excited about that. And we want to thank one of our great sponsors, and that's Trucker Tools, the Trucker Tools app. They are one of those all-in-one trucker apps where you can actually book freight and track your freight, and actually find services like fuel stops and truck stops, parking. There's even, I think, a mark where you can go in there and reserve parking for different areas and stuff like that. But also, you can find Walmart, you can find maintenance facilities, stuff like that. And it's all in one app. You can download it at the app stores, wherever your app store is. And then, of course, you check them out at truckertools.com. And we really do appreciate them supporting us, and could be more excited for them to helping us out. And like I said, they're going to be at the truck show. So look forward to seeing them there. So, yeah, just trucking right along. I was thinking about the trucker that got sentenced there in Colorado. They gave him 110 years. Okay. And we thought, yeah, that's pretty excessive. 110 years. And I was thinking about some things, which to me, I thought he was pretty brave for standing up there and, taking it. Because I don't, and it really, I don't know. I don't know the details of it, whether or not he was injured in the accident. Because if I had been in that accident where I knew I caused that accident, and I was able to walk away from that accident, like I got out of the truck, I'm just thinking about a movie, like in a scene of a movie where a disaster has happened or some kind of tragedy, and the star of your movie is standing there, in sadness and pain because of what they see in front of them. And I would have thought about that if I had got out of that truck, even if I was, limping or something, if something was wrong with me, but I was still able to get up and move, or get up and look and see what I had caused. Man, I tell you what, I don't think you would have been able to take me away from that accident. I'd have been already in a body bag, because, you know, essentially your life is over. Just like what he says in this article when he was standing there before the judge. Uh, it says during his sentencing on December 13th, Aguilera Maderos reportedly wept and said he can't sleep and thinks about the victims all the time. He also said that he wasn't a criminal. Uh, he testified that the brakes on his semi trailer failed before he plowed into vehicles that had slowed because of another wreck in the Denver suburb of Lakewood. That's to me, I tell you what, man, I don't know if I could live with those nightmares, with thinking about something that I caused like that. So whether or not he got 110 years, let's just say that he was found innocent of any wrongdoing, your life's over. You're not going to be right in the head for the rest of your life. That's punishment enough. You're going to need years and years of therapy, counseling, whatever. But he did get 110 years. And to me, it's like, yeah, it's excessive. But if he was contesting that he was innocent, that he did nothing wrong, and he was planning on fighting that, then 110 years would have been bad. But the defense attorney said that the judge was wrong, so the defense attorneys plan on appealing it, but they're not appealing the verdict; they're appealing the sentencing, because the defense attorney says that the rules that the judge cited, as far as like strict minimum sentencing laws, that those rules would constitute only the defendant, Aguilera Maderos, to only receive 20 years in prison. And even then, to me, your life's over. So after 20 years, what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to drive truck again ever. You probably will never be able to drive a car again. Okay. You're a convicted felon, so you're not going to be able to vote. You're not going to be able to protect yourself with a firearm. Nothing. Your only hope is, to me, when I'm thinking about all the scenarios, the only hope you have, if you do have a chance to get out of prison, is that while you were in prison, you studied and like took classes or some kind of schooling, to where you've earned some type of degree, to where you could become some type of scientist, or some type of skill that doesn't require you to do any driving, and doesn't require you to make any kind of heavy decisions. Something, because uh, to me, in my mind, he probably struggled to become a driver, as everybody does when they're kind of down and out. And let's say that he did get only 10 years, or 15 or 20, and he didn't educate himself to be able to get some type of degree, and he just gets out of prison. He's probably going to end up being a criminal, because he's going to get into a gang or something in prison. And then once he gets out, he's going to go to work. He's going to probably become some type of mule, where he's going to illegally transport drugs or people or whatever, because he's going to be part of the gang underworld now. Or if he's just some Joe Blow that didn't get any type of good skill, where he doesn't have to drive or operate any machinery, that means he's going to end up mowing grass. And, that's not good either. Because I thought the whole goal is to get people out of the stereotypes of poor and, manual labor. So, you know, this mistake, it was a terrible mistake, due to, it could be incompetence, could be just bit wasn't trained properly, which, like I said, that's another thing. But I mean, life's over. Whether you get 110 years or not, life's over. I mean, hell, at least 110 years, that means the rest of your life, you'll get 3 meals a day, and, sunlight every half hour, or sunlight for what, 20 or 30 minutes every day, maybe, you know, and, so, it's just like, what did that guy say in Con Air, where he's like, no more steak dinner, and, no more, no more beautiful women on the beach. That's it. No more of that. So, so yeah, life's over, whether you get 110 years or not. If you're trying to make it into society as a decent person, that's over with. So, uh, to me, I wouldn't think, I think 110 years is probably, um, I would say, not cruel, but it's lighter than what he would have gotten if he hadn't, if he hadn't gone to prison, because life's still gonna be hard. Life was probably hard for him when he started truck driving, and life's gonna be even harder now, whether he's in prison or not. Life is just gonna be harder. And, I, like I said, you know, if he can handle it, more power to him, because I know I couldn't, and I wouldn't want to be part of that, to where you had to struggle like that. So, yeah, that's, you know, like I said, that's all I got to say about that. But, But yeah, this is I was looking for. Anyway, we'll go ahead and do this one. So we were a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Yellowstone and the way that life is, and I tell you what, just it reminds me. Talking about this driver, like I say, essentially his life's over, getting sentenced 110 years. A lot of the fiction that we see, especially with the TV shows that we like to watch, the struggles of people. You know, your life's over when you make a certain decision, you make a certain mistake, your life can be over. So, always think about that before you know, pull that trigger or pull at that thread, whatever you think about. Just, man, mistakes can just catch up with you big time. So, yeah, we're just triggering a lot along here as Redneckanize Radio.
As I get long gone out where the wind blows a desert sky, she flies by for miles. As I keep walking, people keep talking about things they've never seen or done. Homeless sleep in the park, sweethearts kiss in the dark. I myself just move on through town. Moon keeps on shining and the ridge keep on dining, and all high love the highway song. Out to the back, boy, ride to songs and blood. Where the coyotes are calling, the stars keep on falling. Your mother, she won't be around. A feather blows down the road and the wind is cold and your wings are broken. Your heart is living on the run. Lonely and wasted, her eyes replaced.
Let me thank Trucker Tools for helping us out and supporting our messages. Trucker Tools is an all-in-one app for truckers and their business. The Trucker Tools app was built from feedback from real drivers and is always being updated to better assist drivers in saving time, running more efficiently, and making more money. Check out their website at truckertools.com. That's Trucker Tools, the app for truckers.
Some things in life can't be unseen. Most see the world in color, all he sees is green. They say he's going home, his tour is finally through. But when he gets back home, what will he do? Even though the war is done, the battle's never through. They may say the war is done, but each day we lose another 22. You sure as hell may have that right. All of freedom don't come free. It's about respect for those who fall and die, not a time to take a knee. It's time we stand together as one nation under God. Salute the red, white, and blue. Set aside our politics and differences. 'cause that's what all Americans should do.
Hey, everybody. Hey, this is Ed, Redneckanize Radio. Check us out, redneckanize.com. Unplugged Radio Network. We're here live every Sunday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. You can call in at 516-387-1733. Be part of the conversation. Just hit 1. Boy, it's a good song here, ain't it? This is Dave Gore's new single called Americans. And he even got it. He put it out on YouTube and Facebook, and they took it down. They said it was inappropriate. So don't know what they're talking about, but we got access to it. So we're playing it here on our show. And Dave Gore's a good friend of ours. So we're having a good time.
All the freedom don't come free. It's about respect for those who fall who die. Not a time to take a knee. It's time we stand together as one nation under God. Salute the red, white, and blue. Set aside our politics and differences, 'cause that's what all Americans should do. 'Cause that's what all Americans should do.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, this is Ed with Redneckanize Radio. You can call in 516-387-1733. We're live here every Sunday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Be sure to go check out our website, redneckanize.com, or go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate everybody doing that for us. And don't forget to go over to truckingshow.com and register for the truck show. That's truckingshow.com. That's in March 24th. We're going to have a booth there. We're going to be at 74108. That's booth number 74108. We're really excited about that. We still plan on being in the parking lot and doing everything we do out there. And we're just kind of trying to expand and just, make everybody known. Bring the word of Redneckanize out to the world, because when everything goes wrong and the job still has to get done, you got to Redneckanize. So we really, really appreciate everybody's support on that. And don't forget to take one of our great sponsors, and that's DPF Regeneration. Those guys have been with us for a while. It's several years now. You can check them out, dpfregeneration.com. They're the ones, they got the special where they clean all the particulate filters. Well, they also sell all the different diesel filters, SCR units, EGR coolers, catalyst mufflers, all that stuff. And they got a lot of knowledge. They've been in the diesel business for a really long time. So make sure you go check them out. That's dpfregeneration.com, or you can give them a call at 800-634-3010. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them you appreciate Redneckanize, because we really do appreciate them. So we were just talking about earlier, we were talking about Central Freight Lines closing down. And we were also talking about the crash, the horrible Colorado crash back in April 2019. They killed 4 people. The driver got sentenced to 110 years. And we were just talking about that too. And then on a lighter note, we were just trying to see how everybody's Christmas is going. A lot of drivers struggle to get home during the holidays. And we were just thinking that when a driver gets home, they that's when Christmas starts. It's not just one day. And it's not even just Christmas Eve, Christmas night. It's like any time a driver gets home, and especially if they want to take a long time off. A lot of drivers schedule like taking the whole week, or they might even take 2 weeks where they get home like maybe on the 20th, and they don't go back out till the second or third. Because they want to spend that time with the family, especially when they're football fans. And of course, you got a lot of football going on, or there might be something to do with going hunting or fishing or something. Drivers, like I said, they take advantage of taking that time off. Now, a lot of companies will tell you that they get a little busy this time of year, and a lot of drivers these days, because they say there's a driver shortage. Well, drivers are just saying, you know what? No, I'm going home. And I think that carriers should do their best to do that. I think carriers need to say, you know what, Walmart, you know what, Kmart, you should have ordered that stuff a while back. And you see that now too. People out there go shopping. If you are back there, and we know you're doing it, don't tell us you're not. we know you are trying to avoid all of the chaos in the front parking lot of a Walmart or a shopping mall or whatever, and you try to go out the back where, there might not be any cars, but there's trucks. And guess what? We're trying to maneuver and back up and swap trailers or make deliveries and take tight corners. And here you are coming around here trying to go away from traffic, blocking everything up. But you see that back there. You see trucks, and what they're doing is they're delivering that crap so you can go buy it. Anywhere it is, grocery stores, shopping malls, Walmarts, Targets, whatever. And what I've noticed a lot is during this time of year, what these Walmart stores will do is they'll get these shipping containers, which, you see that looks like a big truck van with no tires, no wheels on it, it's just sitting on the ground. You can buy those, you can rent those, and it's like storage units that are portable, and they're huge. They're like 50-foot long or whatever. And what they'll do is they'll get all of the toys or supplies or Christmas stuff shipped to them back in, like, August, September, and then they'll put it in those containers because they don't have any space in the store. And then when it comes time to put it out to sell it, then they put it out there. Because what happens is during this time of year, it becomes really hard to get stuff shipped to you exactly when you need it. We used to do that. I remember everybody out there driving truck for, these bigger companies remembers how Walmart, they call it a blitz. And what had happened was they used to do it on a Black Friday to where they would hold everything in trailers for those big sales for Black Friday, and the store managers weren't even supposed to know what were in the trailers. And those trailers would be loaded at like these docks on, back down in Houston, Baytown, that kind of area, or in California and Long Beach and everything. And then they would get shipped to the uh, big facilities like Swift or Schneider and be sitting on their yard for a month at a time and could not be delivered until either Thursday night or Friday morning of Black Friday after Thanksgiving. And it was like a mass just run, and they would say, we need drivers to come back, make sure you come back from your Thanksgiving break, or you can't take Thanksgiving off. They used to do that. And the drivers were like, you know what, I'm not doing that, I'm going home, I'm taking my time off. And so Walmart doesn't do that anymore. Now a lot of that has to do with a lot of online stuff. So it's like, you can order it online now, so they don't need to have everything at the store. They can ship it either by mail or UPS or whatever whenever you order it from their warehouse. So it's not a big deal to them to do that no more. But it used to be, and then I think that it's good that the drivers were like, I'm going home. I ain't doing it." And it was hard. I mean, I remember there would be trailers sitting at the yards of these big companies, and they couldn't get them delivered because they didn't have any drivers. That was back then. That was back in the 90s and 2000s. So I think that stopped. I don't see that happening as much anymore. I still see that it's busy. It's busy, but not like it was. And a lot of drivers, I'm going home, taking time off. You know, so that's the way that goes. And like I said, I hope every drivers get home as much as they can. It's really good to get home, see family. I know even if you don't have family, if you got friends, someplace to be, maybe somebody, I just got done. You know what I did? I was flipping through the channels one morning, and that movie Scrooge was on, and at the end of it, you caught the end of it, and he was really good about it. It's like, call up an old army buddy, or somebody you went to school with, somebody that you may have been best friends with before, and haven't been best friends since, and call them up and say, hey, what's going on? And if you don't have any family, maybe they, I wouldn't say that, hey, can I come hang out with you? I wouldn't say that, but hey, maybe they want you to. They say, hey, where you at? And I'm like, oh, here by myself. And they're like, hey, come on over. You know, that's what Christmas does to people, and it's awesome. So I say, call up people, even though you might think that they might be busy. Maybe they're not. You know, maybe they're just like you. Maybe they're sitting at home looking for somebody to hang out with. Or they just lost a loved one that earlier that year, and that kind of thing. So it's one of those things. Reach out. That's what I'll say is, during the holidays, reach out and be part of something special. You never know. So yeah, that's what we did. Redneckanize. We decided to go to the truck show, and it just so happens that all of us decided to go to the truck show at the same time. It's like, this is my first year. This is my first year too. This is my first year too. And the rest is history. And that was back in 2012. It's, that's amazing to me. I, Everybody that I've told that to said that's pretty amazing. So so now we do this. We get out to the truck show. We set up a tent. We cook food. We provide an area for the drivers to hang out. Bring your own chair, but hang out and meet great make good friends, make great friends. We do that every year. Is get down there. Of course, since COVID, uh, and well, this is another thing. COVID, right? We thought everything was over, and to me, everything is over. But New York, okay, the New York state, I think according to somebody said it, I think New York Times put out an article. New York State has the most vaccinated people in the whole state of New York. Okay. This new Omicron variant has now, I mean, it's more transmissible. So a lot of people catch it. Even if you're vaccinated, you catch it because it's out there. It wants to be spread. Okay. But you're not going to get sick because you've been vaccinated, or you've gotten the first COVID and you got over it, and now you're immune to most of everything. And if you get the even if you get the Delta, or even the Omicron, then nothing's going to happen. You're fine. Okay. But the state of New York said, hey, we're having an issue. We've got spiking cases again. We've got twice as many cases of Omicron than we did of the first. I mean, like they had this week, like Wednesday or Thursday, they said today was the most new cases of COVID in the whole pandemic time, like the most in one day. But you only got so many people living in that city, so, or the state. So what the hell? But this what happened. The Radio City Music Hall, which has like a holiday special every year, it's been going on for like 100 years. Well, they canceled it. It's canceled now. Done. Over. They don't want it no more because of the spike in COVID cases. Nobody's really getting that sick. Nobody's having to go to the hospital. No one has died in the United States from Omicron, but they canceled the show. A tradition. They canceled it. And then the NBA and the NHL, uh, which the NBA is like super vaccinated, and the NHL have all issued more restrictions. In fact, there was a commentator saying that the season could come to a stop. They may have to start moving some games around. The NFL did move games around. They had some spike in cases, so they started moving games around. They're going to be playing games. They're going to have two games tomorrow night in the NFL, Monday Night Football, and they're going to have two games on Tuesday. And I think even more later on, so because they wanted to avoid the spread, they wanted to stop the spread, so they changed how many games they're going to play and who's going to be around and all that stuff. But then today, they are like, you know what, this is stupid. They already scheduled the game, so they're still going to do that. But they announced today, the NFL said they're only going to test. They were doing daily testing of everyone, and that's why you had a lot of. I mean, I'm a big Cowboy fan. A lot of Cowboy coaches had to sit out the game. Even the head coach couldn't be at the game because they tested positive for COVID. I mean, he's probably the most unhealthy person on that sideline, and he's got COVID and he's fine, but he can't be at the game because he's going to be around, 20-something-year-old super athletes. So it's like, you can't be there. You can't hang out with them people that are young and super healthy. You can't hang out with those people. You got COVID, you know. So they're not going to stop doing that. They're only going to test now. They're only going to test people that have not been vaccinated or are showing symptoms. That's the only people they're going to test now. Hey, it's a lot better than what they were doing, which was testing every single person. I just hope that when these businesses sit down, and I mean, if you're a business and you're not getting the government to pay for everything, so we know what happened was the government was paying for all the vaccines. I'm sure that the vaccinations for the NBA and for the NFL were probably paid for by the US government, which is silly. But I don't know about the testing. I don't know if testing was being paid for. It might have been because I mean, you can go down to a local Walgreens or whatever and get tested. And I think that's government funded. So, why wouldn't a multi-million-dollar business that wants to test its employees every day, why shouldn't they take advantage of the government's generosity and get all that paid for? So there you go. Again, we talked about it earlier. The government is God. The government is your savior. The government is your problem solver. And again, the government steals your money and spends it on stupid crap like that. So that's all I got to say. Crazy. But yeah, let's go. Let's see what you're talking about, and we'll keep going. What's going on, Greg? I knew that was you going to be chiming in, and me going off here for a couple of hours.
I don't know. I don't know where even to start tonight. I really
Oh
don't.
man, I tell you what though. What do you
I don't
think?
know.
I wanted to actually get your opinion of what you thought about the 110-year deal. Have you looked at that or looked up into that or anything?
I haven't followed a whole lot. I mean, 110 years. I mean, come on. 110 years for an accident.
Right.
I mean, there's been accidents out there. What about all that? What about that accident out there? What about all these accidents up here in the snow and everything when they have all these truck crashes, car crashes?
Yep.
Are they giving all them people 110 years for that?
Well, one of a fan of the show, she messaged me about that, and she said, "What about all these? I mean, so if you get a DWI, you don't get 110 years." And that, and he didn't choose to have the brakes fail, but people choose to drink and drive. That's a choice they make.
Exactly.
So yeah.
We got politicians out there. Look at them. Look at the stupid things that they do. Do they get any time out of it? No, they don't.
Yeah, that's what Ben Shapiro he said.
It's crazy.
His quote, Ben Shapiro quote is that so far in the United States, Ted Kennedy has killed more people than Omicron.
Yeah, ain't that no doubt.
Right, because and that's the thing is that politicians, they do stupid crap and then they oh no, I didn't do nothing wrong. I mean, Ted Kennedy is the most famous one. He had a car accident, landed in the water, woman in the car, he left her there, and she died. And if anybody doesn't know that story, that's history in the making. Even when I was in my 20s, I didn't know about that story. But the one that I knew about, that I found out about after doing research on politicians running for office, and that's our old boy Robert Francis. You know Robert Francis? You probably don't know him by Robert Francis. Robert Francis is a politician here. He ran for Senate here in Texas and got his butt whooped, and then he ran for president, and everybody knew who he was and everybody loved him because he was a white boy going by the name Beto. My name is Beto and I'm cool. And he actually what he was doing, he was under the influence of something, whether it was cocaine or alcohol or whatever, but he caused an accident out there on Interstate 10 in El Paso years back, and he ran some people off the road, and then he got in his car and got back on the road and he took off. And no charges were brought. So
all right. Yeah, it's just they want to make an example out of somebody all the time. I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
And again, I mean, there's nothing you can say about it, nothing we could do about it, because it goes right back to what we've been saying for months and months and years. It's we are our own worst enemy.
Yep.
The trucking industry is our own worst enemy, and you're never, ever going to fix it. That guy coming down that mountain, nobody knows what happened exactly other than he brake failed. All right. How many times have you been coming? Okay, you're coming down a mountain. Okay, yes. And there is truck runaway, escape ramps, truck runaway ramps. See it all the time coming down Fancy Gap.
Yep.
You come down Fancy Gap or any of these mountains, Black Mountain, Mount Eagle, all of them, you name it, man. There's out east here, out west. There's signs tells you. I don't know how many times down south I'll be going down through there, and they got pull offs at the top of the mountain. You pull over, check your brakes, whatever, blah blah blah. I pull over there because that's the law. You pull over, you do what's right. I pull over, and there'll be 7 or 8 trucks come busting over the top of that damn hill, and down over there they go, and they don't even think about touching the brake, slow down, or stop. I don't care if you're empty, loaded, what. The sign says all trucks stop, not loaded trucks, empty trucks. All trucks stop.
That's right.
They don't do it.
Right.
Now, supposing he was going down through there, he come down over there and he did what was right. He stopped, he did whatever he did. All right. When he got to that truck escape ramp, what if he couldn't get in there? You have trucks, all trucks is in the right lane. They're running the speed limit that they're required to run, where it's 35 or whatever the speed limit is going down through there. Now, if you got these trucks, they can't follow a safe distance. They've got to be a half a truck length off of the guy in front of them. How the hell is he supposed to get into that truck ramp if you got trucks running butt nose to tail all the way down through there?
That's true. That's true.
Was there anything mentioned about that? Maybe he couldn't get into that ramp.
Well, and I thought that there might have been video
up to that and say, well, he couldn't get in there because we was all, the right lane was blocked to where he couldn't get to the ramp. Nobody knows. All they know is what happened at the bottom.
Yeah.
And 110 years, because he killed, 17 people or whatever it was?
No, it was only 4. 4 people died in that Colorado.
4 people? Okay, 4 people. Okay, all right. Just like I said, how many people is killed in weather-related accidents out here in these big pilots, just like that one out there in Texas last year?
Yeah.
The ones up there on 94.
Yeah, where FedEx truck took to the air.
And then these assholes want to come out with, well, we're going to do a blitz on 94, and we're going to crack down on the trucks because of all the truck-related crashes that we've had up on 94 and the snow and everything in the wintertime. Blitz my ass. Don't blitz my ass. Blitz because what? Because you don't do your job any other time of the year. You want to take and pick and choose your days that you do it. I've said it all along. Why does safety stop when the weather gets bad?
Yep.
When the weather gets bad, safety don't stop. So when they want to run their 72-hour DOT checks, do it in the middle of February or March or January. Why does it have to be in May or June? Well, do your job. Them guys are out there to do their job every day, just like we do.
Yep.
We got to go out and work in all kind of weather. They're getting paid. The DOT, these motor carrier enforcements are getting paid to do their job.
Yep.
Do it. Do it every day, not just when you feel like it.
Yep.
What about, just like Iraq. They went over there because of weapons of mass destruction. They didn't find any. How many people lost their life over there, senselessly lost their lives over there, and they didn't find anything? Whose fault was that? The government. Did anybody that had control of that made that call? Did they do 110 years of prison?
Exactly.
For killing all them people over there?
Right.
No, they didn't. Horse shit.
Yep.
Horse shit. 110 years because of an accident. Give me a break.
Yeah. But I.
So what about all the people that's been killed in these big cities because of Antifa and all this mess up there burning and killing people and everything? The governors in them states, they should be held accountable for that.
Well,
they caused that. They caused all them deaths.
Well, just
they
they
should be brought up on charges.
Well, just like that guy. So let's just take that guy in Wisconsin, for instance, the one that he tried to run over his girlfriend like 3 days before he ran all those people down for that parade. I mean, they arrested him and let him go with no bail. So your district attorney and your mayor or whatever, whoever decided to do that, to release that person with no bail, that person needs to be in jail. That's what needs to happen. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, these government officials all over the place. I mean, they all, we're going to defund the police and the cops are racist and all that. And then crime goes up. Well, who goes to jail for that? You're a victim of a crime. I'm so sorry. We're going to do better next time. No, you're not, because you're going to keep making it a political issue, and throw it in our faces. And then you're going to say, police are racist. and crime is up, but you can't carry any guns around with you. You can't do that. We don't want you doing that. That's crazy.
You know, you look at this, okay? Just like George Floyd, any of these that lost their lives up there because of police brutality. Okay, he goes and he gets shot. They lose their life. You got mass confusion. You got Antifa and Black Lives Matters and whoever it may concern. They're out there. They're protesting. They're shutting the streets down. They're blocking traffic. You know, they're burning. They're looting and everything. Now, what the hell would they do right now if the trucking industry done the same thing because of that man right there?
Yeah, right.
You want to put him in jail for 110 years for something that was an accident. You know, he didn't, you know, I know regardless of neglect or negligence or what, that man didn't purposely come down that damn hill like that, mountain like that, just run into them people intentionally just to kill them.
Right.
He didn't do that.
Right.
What would they do if we went out there and started blocking highways and shit and started beating hell out of everybody and started, you know, burning everything in sight and everything because of what they did to one of our own?
Yep.
Where do you suppose that would go?
Oh, yeah, they would nip that in the butt real quick.
Exactly. Oh, no, we'd be a bunch of modern day criminals, you know. But
exactly.
But when they did it up there, well, it was a protest.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it was demonstration. You know, they was just no, hell to the no.
I'm telling you.
No, it's crazy. Right. There's no sense.
Well, that's the way it goes. You know?
And as far as the training, the government, I mean, you know, the government says they're ready, but no. The government saying that, yes, they're ready to go. No, the government don't control that. Well, the states are the ones.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We are supposed to be carrying a federal driver's license.
Right.
CDL, commercial driver's license, which is a federal driver's license. But yet the state issues, you're issued your driver's license in the state that you live in.
Well, that's my whole point. Government right. In general. There's the state's in charge of the government.
If we're going to carry a commercial driver's license and we're going to be controlled by the quote unquote government, then the rules and the laws of these highways and state to state should not be able to mandate their own rules, their own laws. It should be federal government sets the guidelines and the weight limits, the bridge limits, everything, you know, speed limits, you name it, should be uniform straight across the board in every state.
Right.
You go to Indiana. If any of these guys that pulls oversized or pulls heavy, hauls heavy, Indiana has one axle limit. Then when you get to Ohio, you're allowed more on one end, on the back, on the trailer than you are the drives, on the tractor. As soon as you get to Ohio, it's reversed. You're whichever, vice versa. You're allowed more on the other end. So you can be legal in Indiana on an overweight load on a permit. As soon as you get to the state line, now you're illegal. Now, what the hell are you supposed to do? You're legal in one state, but you're not in the other.
Right.
So what are you supposed to do? Legally stop and have your load repositioned on there so you can be legal in the next state? Give me a damn break.
I tell you, yeah.
It's all about money.
It's what, and people make the laws. They change the laws because somebody in that state owns a certain company. And he's like, well, I'm going to be hauling this state, so I want the law to change. I want it to be different or whatever. So, yeah. But that's it, you know.
Yeah.
The states, like I said, it's controlled by money, but they're not going to be held accountable. They don't want that. So yeah, I agree with that. So, yeah, we're going to keep on going here. We're going to step away to take a little break and talk about more trucking issues here. This is Redneckanize Radio.
This week's episode is sponsored by LTR Transportation. Come be part of a great carrier celebrating a new year with new trucks and new growth. Check them out at ltrtransportation.com or give them a call at 720-277-0030. Thank you, LTR, for being a supporter of Redneckanize. Redneckanize, Common sense solutions for an uncommon world.
Used to, justice was served on the road. When evil was done, that was all that she wrote.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, this is Ed with Redneckanize Radio. You can call in 516-387-1733, but probably conversation just hit 1. And be sure to go check out our website, and that's redneckanize.com. You can also go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really do appreciate everybody doing that for us. And don't forget to go check out for the truck show. We're going to be there in March 24th. You can register. Make sure you register in advance. That's truckingshow.com. Go check them out. And we're going to be at booth 74108. And we're excited. We're going to be at the parking lot as usual, but then we're also going to be inside over there in the pavilion area by the food court over there. You know, if you've ever been to the truck show before and you ride the bus from the Cardinal Stadium parking lot, you walk on in and the place is always open before. We're going to be in that area, and it's a booth 74108. Come by, say hi, check us out. We're going to be doing a lot of different stuff over there. We're really excited about it. Hope everybody comes and joins in for the fun and everything. The truck show is awesome if you have never been, and so just check it out. Also, one of our great sponsors, and that's LTR, Load to Ride Transportation, LTR Transportation. You can check them out, LTRtransportation.com. That's LTRtransportation.com. They're a great little outfit out of Denver, Colorado. They got pretty cool trucks. They expanded a lot. They went out and got some new equipment, and they've got all the expedited and do the temperature protection, hazmat certification, all that different stuff. And if you're looking to stay busy, check them out. They're based out of Denver, Colorado. You can call them directly at 720-277-0030, or check, like I said, go to their website, ltrtransportation.com. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them you appreciate them supporting Redneckanize, because we really do appreciate them. So we're just kicking back here with Greg, and we're just going to let the music run on out. Sounds pretty good. And Greg, I don't know if you heard, we talked a little bit, but the Central Freight Line shut down. I mean, I kind of saw it coming. I don't know. You live up there in the north. I don't know if Central Freight's prevalent up there, but a lot of heads rolled when the drivers just showed up for work and the doors were locked. So what the hell?
Yeah, well, what the hell? Look at Arrow. Look at Falcon, Arrow. These companies do whatever they want to do. They don't give a damn. That just goes to show they don't give a damn about the drivers. They come in, they get their money. When their pockets is full, they go.
Yep. It's
that simple. Yep. I mean, they don't care.
And as a driver,
you're an ass in the seat. These companies don't give a damn. They can tell you all, we're a family-owned business, and we care about our drivers. And drivers, we appreciate you, and you mean so much to us. Yeah, just like these truck stops. Yeah, you mean so much to them. They could give a damn less about you.
Well, that's
they
what
want you to come in and get the hell out.
As a Redneckanize website, charity, nonprofit, truckers helping truckers. What we'll tell you is that don't always know what your company's up to. Just you got to get all the information you can on how your company's doing, and if if they're not forthcoming about their assets or their revenue and all that, and maybe even they're cooking the books, you gotta keep educated on that. And one of the most important things, I think, and you see it too. I mean, you see it, and as owner operators or company drivers, Facebook is like lit up on fire with recruiting for truck drivers. Oh my God. It's like, man,
right.
they are on fire. And I'll tell you this right now, I absolutely do not believe anything that these Facebook posts or sponsorships or advertisements. Don't believe anything they're telling them. One of them was US Express. They said that they have teams that make more money as a team in any. They're the highest paying company team fleet in the country at like 170,000 split. So that means if you run for US Express as a team driver, you split with the other driver $175,000 a year. That's nothing. Okay,
Brother,
that's
a
what,
team splitting 175,000 a year.
right.
Even driving a company truck, $175,000 they're splitting between a team, between two drivers.
Yeah,
And them drivers are out there how many days a year?
exactly. Exactly. And you know, as a team, you got to run. And that's and don't assume what you can't. I think what drivers kind of say, well, we're going to make 175,000. No, you're not. You're only going to make $175 if you work your ass off. And you can make more if you work more. But as a driver, you're paid just like anybody else, paid by the hour. Drivers are paid by the mile. So if you're not running miles, you're not getting paid. And there's so many drivers out there that quit running for a certain carrier because they're not staying busy. They want to stay busy. They're not staying busy because, like you're saying, it's just a butt in the seat. Sit there for 3 days all you want. We don't care. We're not paying you to sit. We're paying you to drive. But then you sit because they tell you to sit. They're not paying you.
Right.
And what I just tell people, don't believe anything that these people that are these videos and these conversations that you see on Facebook or whatever, that they're saying, hey, come work for us. That's a recruiter. Okay. Or if not an actor, but a recruiter that is paid to convince you to come work for them. Okay. Don't those people don't know what the hell they're talking about. They will say anything and everything, especially now when it's like they're so hard up for drivers that they'll say anything.
Right.
They'll say anything. So what I would do is, if you're looking at transferring to a company or working for a company, go talk to the drivers. Go straight to the horse's mouth. Okay. You see a driver.
You can't even depend on that anymore because you got a bunch of drivers out there so full of shit. It ain't funny either.
That's true too. Yep, that's true too. Back in the day, like I said, I was over the road with Swift, and there was a driver who had become famous, and Swift was paying him to be a recruiter. He was a driver, but then Swift was paying him to be a recruiter. And I tell you what, he was saying so many lies about Swift that he didn't have no clue. As a driver, he didn't have no clue. So it's like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You can't really trust it. If hey, I don't want to get into this, but Greg knows it and Greg won't let me live it down. But hey, he pulled the trigger, made a move, and he blamed me for it. And I said, hey, we don't know everything. You go over there and you find out. We we thought that was a pretty good company. It turns out that was like the worst company ever, right?
How would you know? You had to be a Richard. You threw me to the wolves.
I didn't throw. Dude, come on, man.
You threw me to the wolves, man. But we did it. We were all right. We're okay.
I mean, at no point did I ever say.
It only took me about 3 more companies, but I finally hooked into a decent one.
Yeah, you did. But I'll just, in my defense, I never said, "Hey, Greg, let's go drive for that company together." I never did say that.
No. What you said was, hey, I hear that's a good company, and I'm thinking about going flatbed. What do you think about flatbed? Well, it's all right, but it's not for everybody. But you can do all right.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm going to talk to him. I went over and west. You didn't.
Oh man.
Always got to be a Richard.
Yep. Everybody's got to be everybody got to be a Richard. I think there's a Richard here. I've got a Richard here that may contest that. Is this Richard? Hello, Richard.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a Richard. All right.
All right. I want to take a break. You guys talk it out.
What's going on? It only took you about 15 minutes to slip that word in there.
You want me to throw the other one in there? You better be quiet.
No.
Shut up.
No. No, you don't need to do that.
All right. If you shut up. Either or.
I have been.
Richard is our. Richard is a Redneckanize word for let's go, Brandon.
175,000. Just like U.S. Express. So that 175,000 split between two drivers, that's insane.
Yeah.
There ain't a driver out there with the economy and stuff the way that it is right now. And they're saying, well, most of our drivers are making, 40,000 to 50,000 a year. What kind of money is that? For the time that you're spending out there on the road, and you're going to pay them, because you know what? That's insulting.
Yep. I agree.
That is insulting.
Yep. Yeah.
Take the amount of hours. Take the hours that they work on that e-log. They want to run e-logs. Take all the hours that they log on an e-log a year, and you break that down into the money that they pay them, and see what they made an hour.
Right. I'll say this right now.
I'm counting all the time they work for nothing.
If you got to be over the road, okay. If you've got to be over the road, I'm saying all drivers out there, no matter who you are, but especially company drivers, okay. But owner operators, the same thing. If you are out there on the road, over the road, and you got to spend a lot of time away from home, then the pay to the driver, this is owner ops and company, pay to the driver should be grossing 100,000 a year.
Exactly.
That's what you should be making as a company driver and an owner operator. What I mean is, after all expenses, you should be able to put 100,000 in the bank and then pay all of your taxes with that 100 grand. But that's what you should be doing. You should be able to put, as an owner operator. I mean, I know owner operators. I mean, even me as an owner operator, I never was able to do it. But you should be able to take $2 grand a week and put it in the bank and say that's for everything else. After you paid for your truck, after you paid for your fuel, So yeah, that's now. That's
if you're not making at least $2 grand a week owning a truck, you need to give it up. Because you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Right.
I knew I was doing something wrong. At Landstar, man, they kept trying to. They were lowballing it. I mean, dude, we talk about this all the time too. These brokers, they after all those hands touch it, they called the driver up and say, yeah, well, you gonna run this for us, and they done taking all the profit out of it, and nothing goes to the driver after it's touched about 3 or 4 different brokers, and so you gotta know that too, and cut the cord with that stuff. What's that?
Is there not laws that's been on the book for years and years and years about you're not allowed? It's against the law to double broker.
Yeah, nobody does.
Yeah,
that,
right. Yeah. How are they going to control that?
Yeah, they can't.
Double. Holy shit! That money gets brokered sometimes 3 or 4 times before it hits you.
Exactly. But yeah, so when a company says,
then you got companies out there like one that we all know and love so well. I'm not going to mention no names, but I think everybody knows who it is that wants to go pay 60-some% on their trailer.
Right.
And these guys are talking about how good they've got it there and how well they take care of them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
bite me.
I always thought it was really weird for an owner operator to be so loyal to the company that they don't own. The company you should be loyal to is your company. You're the owner operator for your company. The company you're leased to, that's not your company. That's the company. That's a different company. Technically, that's your broker, is the company you're leased to.
Right.
So that company should be the one getting freight. But and the way it works is that you're leased onto a carrier, and that carrier calls other brokers. So that's technically double brokering.
Right.
So
yeah, And nothing's bad is these guys are staying out there on the holidays and weekends, and they're constantly working and living in that truck. Are you getting home for the weekend? Well, no, I'm not going to make it home for the weekend. I got to work. This load's got to be somewhere here. And I'm thinking, really?
Mm-hmm.
For what you're getting paid, and you're not getting paid near enough to spend that time away from your family, away from loved ones and stuff, to be out there on that damn road over every holiday. Because on the holidays, you might be out there, but you're not working. You might be out there wanting to drive, wanting to work, but I'll say the majority of them are sitting somewhere. They're going to be sitting. Because I guarantee you that 90% of these companies and businesses out there are not going to be working Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Right.
New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Right.
and Thanksgiving Day. They're not doing it. They're not going to be doing it. They will not do it. Their employees are smart enough to figure out, hey, I'm not doing that, and they're not going to make me do it.
Right. Yep.
And if they do work, that company's paying them damn good to do it. You know what that truck driver's getting for working the holiday?
Nothing different.
Is he getting any extra money?
Nope.
Are they throwing him a bone for staying out there over the holiday? No, they're not.
Well,
nope, he gets straight pay for doing what he always does.
Yep. And if truck drivers, if you don't know this,
about getting straight
yeah. Well, and what truck drivers don't realize is that the people that work in the office, either they're getting paid by the hour, which means they're probably making time and a half if they're working on, Christmas Day or whatever. But also, even if they're on salary, they got a pretty nice little Christmas bonus too sometimes, and they get a lot of stuff, that they get thrown their way, a lot of extra little something. And as a trucker, you don't get much. You don't get anything. What you get a free shower, free truck wash.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, as drivers, they get a pretty good Christmas bonus too, minus the us.
Just saying, man. Oh, what?
Greg, you're on a full blown being a Richard tonight, aren't you?
Yeah,
I didn't think that was a Richard moment. I just,
oh wow,
just speaking the truth.
No, it is. It's the truth. I mean,
yep.
Call it what it is, man. But there'll be people that can agree to disagree with me and say, "Oh yeah, Greg, you're full of shit." Yeah, I'm bullshit. Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What's that we say all the time, man? Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. Yep.
Prove me wrong.
Yep.
I've been in this game too damn long. I've seen both sides of it. I'm done. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of listening to it.
There you go.
I guess good. All I want is about 3 more years, and they can have this shit. I'm done with it.
Man, oh man! Imagine the roads without.
It's only going to get worse. Anybody that will walk away from their family and get in a damn truck and drive across the country on a holiday, no, I don't care. And that's a story for a different day. But I'm not mentioning no names, Aaron. I'll just keep that to myself.
There you go. That's it.
Well, one somebody that's all close to our heart. That's what's going on with him this weekend. But I'll leave it alone. Like I said, I ain't mentioning no names over the radio, but there's no reason.
Right.
There's no reason to be away from your family for a weekend for a damn trucking company or a job or a load or anything. I don't care. It don't pay enough. Because one day, I'm going to be here. Well, when you die, what do you think that company really cares? Do you think anybody cares? No. They'll pull your dead ass out of that truck. Somebody else, company driver especially. They'll pull your dead ass out of there, put somebody else in the seat. That truck will never lose a dime.
There you go. Yep.
They don't care.
Yep.
They do not care about the drivers. All you are is meet the seat. That's it.
Well, and I agree, and I think a lot of the companies out there they need to. I mean, the recruiting. Just I don't know why you need it so bad. You don't need recruiting as long as you take care of your drivers. I mean, you'll get applications out the yin yang if you take care of your drivers.
You don't need recruiters. Your drivers is the best recruiter you got.
That's it. That's exactly right. I agree with that. Yep. So that's the way it is. I mean, like I said, if you're out there and you see those advertisements, those recruiters, don't believe anything they say. Don't let them tell you that they have the best benefits or the best pay, because all you got to do is go do a little research and you'll find that out. So, but we're going to step away, take a little break, and come right back and talk about a few more things. We got about 15 minutes left, so call in 516-387-1733. Be part of the conversation at 1. This is Redneckanize Radio.
Turn up that radio. Don't want to think about a rodeo. Don't want to think about a roundup up in old Cheyenne. Well, it's a crazy circuit. Harvest till you work it. Turn down that sound, boys. Let's get up and check the skin. 10-4, buddy, come on back.
We'd like to send a shout out to all these great supporters. They hung in there with us through the beginning, and we couldn't have done it without them. GTS Enterprises, North Liverpool, Ohio. RM Transport of Chandler, out of Chandler, Arizona. CK Hunter Transportation, out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Peter Ramsey Trucking, out of Mountain Grove, Missouri. Dixon Transportation, out of Sarcoxie, Missouri. Lifetime Nut Covers, out of Crystal Lake, Iowa. Iowa 80 Truck Stop, out of Walcott, Iowa. SoCal Flashlights, out of Los Angeles, California. My Right Load at www.rightload.com. And DPF Regeneration at www.webacom.com. Thank all of you for your support and generosity to Redneckanize.
You see it at the truck shows, out there on the open road, even in the driveway at his house. Johnny keeps his spit shining on it all the time. He wants it looking good when he goes out. Why do people laugh at him and shake their head when he pulls
All right,
in
hey
the
everybody, hey, this is Ed,
parking
Redneckanize
lot?
Radio. You can give us a holler at 516-387-1733. We're live here on Sunday evenings, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And we're just chatting right along. All things trucking and then some. Redneckanize Radio here. Be sure to go check out our website, redneckanize.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody doing that for us. And one of our great sponsors that I wanted to mention, and that was Trucker Tools, the Trucker Tools app. And they're a great supporter of Redneckanize, and they stepped up big to help us out here in 2020. And then the truck show got canceled, so we've been doing our best to try to help them out. And they're one of those apps where you can go in and track freight, book freight. You can actually find parking spots, truck stops, fuel stops, maintenance facilities, even Walmarts. So check them out, truckertools.com, or download their app at the app stores. And anything you got for that is all good. And when you next time you see them, which they should be at the truck show, just let them know you appreciate them supporting Redneckanize, because we really do appreciate them. So I was going to bring Greg and Robbie back on here, because we're just chilling out, winding down the last bit of the show here. Got about 15 minutes left, maybe a little less. And I don't know. Hey, Greg, did you catch 1883 yet? The 2 episodes already out.
No, I didn't. The night they come on, I was busy. I was thinking about the show, and we didn't get back till. Oh, well, yeah, it'll come on here at 8 o'clock. Yeah, we're gonna watch it. She's got it recorded.
Well, yeah, 1883 is on the app, Greg. Okay, I know your technology.
Yeah.
So you can watch them anytime you want.
We'll watch it after. You got it. It's got it under control here.
There you go. So I wanted.
Robbie.
What?
Robbie was up here. I don't know if you remember Fred Moore.
Yes.
My buddy up here that I worked with Universal.
Yes, go ahead.
He passed away yesterday evening, last evening.
Oh, Fred ended up passing, right?
Yeah, he did, Robbie. He ended up passing yesterday evening. I went up. I got in about 2:30, 2:45, or something like that. Saturday morning, I got back. I dropped, picked my trailer up Fort Wayne. I told them they asked me if I wanted to load again. Get a couple more thousand this year or what. I said nope. I said I'm going home. He said okay. I told Clark, I said I'm going home. I said there's problems at home. I'm going home the rest of the year. So I came home and I went to bed, and about 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. My phone rang yesterday morning, and I got up to said that his brother had called me. So I called him, and he said, yeah, he wasn't doing good. If you want to see him, he said, you better come up, which I told him I was going to come in. I'd be up yesterday morning. I went up to see him, and he was just, he was there at home. They got him home, but he was terminal. And Tim talked to him Wednesday, and he was setting up talking to her and everything, but it just cancer got him, man. I mean, it got him. It took him past. It was real aggressive, and when it first started, it was just a spot on his lung and one on his liver, and I guess it grew, it just multiplied overnight.
As soon as they touched it, I start checking.
So they biopsied it and sent the results out, or out to give results, and it just spread, man. It just blew up. It got in between his left and 12th, the 11th and 12th vertebrae in his back, and it just by yesterday evening, I was over and seen him yesterday morning. I mean, he was, he was just laying there, but yesterday evening he was done. He died yesterday evening about, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, that's where we was at. We was there, and then found out that my real good family friend, my ex-brother-in-law, his mother passed from COVID. I mean, his mom and his dad got it. She only had one lung to start with, so it got her. And his dad's in the hospital now. So we went up PA today and met with them and talked to him a little bit. So, but he's doing better now. He's starting to come around a little bit. So we're hoping he makes it, because they was both in their early 80s. So yeah, it's been a pretty hectic couple of days here for us, since yesterday and today. So we haven't even got a chance to really slow down here until tonight. But it's life,
Well, that's I was talking to Tiff earlier this weekend, and it's like you're saying, you never know. I mean, just like you didn't even know what was going on until he actually just went to the doctor. And it's
right.
It's one of those things you just never know. And I just sometimes it's like you got to make every second count, because one day you can just go to the doctor just for a routine little checkup and then realize, oh crap,
Well, that's just what Robbie and I talk about it all the time. I mean, it's just like you're here today, going tomorrow, and these guys are going out there. I mean, I don't want to keep preaching on this, but you get up and you get in that truck and you go to work and you leave for a week, 2 weeks. Like Robbie, he'll leave for 3 weeks at a time. You don't know when you walk out of the house if you're coming home again or not. And you go out there and you live in that truck. You drivers go out there and they'll get in that truck and they'll be gone. They'll stay gone for, weeks, or some of them months at a time, and away from their families and stuff. The ones that got family. If you ain't got family, well, okay. But if you got a family at all, you need to knock it off and spend time with family, because life's short.
Telling you.
And you can get in that truck and not come home. You don't know, from every day you get in that truck, whether it's, you don't know if you're coming home or not.
That driver in Hubbard.
Yeah, look at that little incident that happened right up there in Hubbard, Ohio. I don't know if you've seen that on Tuesday News or anything. Up there at Love's in Hubbard, right up here by Youngstown. Got in the truck, come out to work. Okay, he pulled in to a fuel island, pumped his fuel, got in his truck, and they said, witnesses even said, he put it in gear and just went to pull off the fuel island. And there was a guy walking in front of his truck, 67 years old, and he hit him. When he went to pull up, he bumped him. Never seen him, bumped him and knocked him down on the fuel island. They said he didn't run over him, he knocked him down. Well, the guy, I guess, had blood from his mouth and his nose and whatever, and he died at the scene. 67 years old, the man lost his life because he got bumped at the fuel island and got knocked down. Well, last we heard, there wasn't no charges. They're not bringing any charges up so far. But it doesn't matter about the charge. Here's the man. You got a man that come out here. 2 weeks before Christmas, he's dead. Now he's not going home to his family because of a freak accident like that.
Yep.
And they said that the guy wasn't horsing around, so it wasn't like he pulled to the fuel island like, Secretariat coming out of the starting gate, like they usually do. I mean, you see it all the time. And me and Robbie was just talking about it the other day. These assholes running around in the parking lot with their Jake brakes on, 35 mile an hour, and it's not company drivers.
Nope.
It's these asshole operators. And yes, I am one. Robbie is one, but I will say it. It's most of the time it's the owner-operators, or it's a driver driving for an owner-operator, because the majority of the time it's a Peterbilt or a Kenworth or a big trailer, something, a big truck that's got straight pipes, and they think that's real cool to blow the air horns. Or run their Jake brake in the parking lot.
Well, I'll add on to that.
Bullshit.
I'll add on to that. It's usually, I don't know who I'll piss off on this, and I don't care. It's usually the guy that's got that giant shifter that's taller than the seat. That's the guy that's driving like that in the parking lot.
Yep. Yeah, they jack them shifters up, and like I told Robbie, they must have a little wee. That's why they got that big jacked up shifter.
Overcompensating. That's right.
You know, usually if they got that, that's because they got a little PT, you know. Hey, get over yourself. Grow up.
Damn, that's good radio. But yeah,
you know,
like you're saying, you never know.
Shut up now. You pick up where I left off.
Where'd Robbie go?
I know. You've hit all the points there.
You know, there's no sense in it. You know, that's what I said. There's no sense in what goes on.
Yeah.
And just like that guy's carrying on like I just said, driving in the parking lot like that. They think they're being a smart ass until they come around there some night in that parking lot around one of the corners and come down through there acting a horse's ass. And it's dark and somebody steps out between them trucks to cross into the next row and they hit them and run over them. Now, that dumbass is going to jail. He's going to prison. Is he going to get 110 years?
Right.
Well, no, he probably won't get but a couple weeks.
Well,
because they'll call it a freak accident.
I've seen it. I've seen those guys with those large cars and the big shifters and all that with the fancy neon lights and everything, and they come flying around the corner like that. And it's not a person that they might hit. They slam on the brakes and jerk their freight around and jerk the truck around because it's just some old trucker got his pickup truck right in front of his big rig and he's packing up the truck, fixing to head out. And they just assume that the area is clear. You know, when you're coming in like that, flying around, you're like, well, I know what I'm doing, and as long as nobody's in my way, well, people get in the way, and you know what? You're gonna have to live with it because you know, a guy comes in, brings his pickup truck and his family with him, and he's getting in the truck ready to leave. You know, because maybe he hung out with a friend that evening. You know, and cars come in that parking lot too, and we don't like it, but that's what happens. You know.
And you know what really pisses me off? I mean, it's not because of the. You know, hey, if they want their jacked up shifters and their lights and stuff, you know, I'm all about that. I'm all about a nice looking truck. I like a good looking truck just as well as the next guy. I'm not picking on the truck and what the truck looks like. Hey, the better that truck looks, the better I like it. I'm a truck driver. I like it. I like a nice looking truck. It's not the truck. You know, it's not the truck. It's the driver in the seat.
Yep, it's the Richard in the seat.
It's just like it's just like a gun. The gun don't kill nobody. It's the person behind the gun that kills them.
Yep.
The man that pulls the trigger, that's who killed. That's who that gun killed. That gun didn't kill nobody, and that truck never killed nobody. That truck does what it's told to do, just like a gun. So, you know, nonsense. You know, in the summertime, you got guys out there, drivers out there that take their kids with them in the summertime.
Yep.
Just spend time with them because they don't go home, so they take their kids with them, let them ride with them in the truck. Now you got in the summertime, and it don't matter. They go out there. Now you got kids out there in the truck stop too, walking around. Yeah, you try to keep a hold of them and keep an eye on them, but kids are kids.
There you go.
They get out of the truck, they're walking around, they bolt out in front of that truck, and bang, there's a truck set that's coming around there, acting a damn fool. Now he done killed your kid.
Yep.
God bless the son of a bitch that runs over one of my kids or runs over somebody if I catch them.
Okay.
Because if the cops don't do nothing and I get a hold of it, they're done.
There you go.
There's no sense of stupidity, none. And they want to call themselves professional drivers, and the world's picking on us. No, nobody picks on you. You deserve. You control your own destiny. If you want to act like a fool, you'll be treated like one.
Yeah.
That's what me. You know, you can open your mouth. You can keep your mouth shut and make people think you're a fool, or you can open your mouth and remove all their doubt. Well, that's what a lot of these drivers does. Instead of keeping their mouth shut, and making people think they're stupid. They open their mouth and they relieve all their doubt. Then they know they're stupid.
There you go. Man.
Wake up.
There you go. That's the.
All right. I'm sorry, man. I got you.
The Bible according to Greg, right there. I'm telling you what, that's how it is.
This is Greg being Greg.
That's what's awesome about it. I love it. I love every second of it. You learn so much.
You know, I might have to get bodyguards down there at the truck show this year, if we have a truck show this year. So there might be a lot of people who disagree with me and want to be down there, coming down there looking for me, and that's all good.
Hey, so you said it.
Prove me wrong.
I won't say right now. Greg is going to say it again. Prove me wrong. And I thought he was kind of like, no, you're smoking crack, because there ain't no way they're going to cancel the truck show. Well, hell, Radio City Music Hall just canceled the rest of their Christmas specials for the year. So ain't no telling what could happen for the truck show. They could.
I'm telling you, I will be simply amazed if we have a truck show this year. I hope we do. Everybody's ready for one.
Yes.
But these truck shows, I mean, show management down there, look what happened to Gaps. They bowed down to all this nonsense, and now Gaps pretty much is done.
Yep.
No boy, done, over, no more.
Yep.
And how many more years is, Matt's going to continue to be canceled before they finally just say, you know what, this is it. No, enough.
Yeah.
Just forget it. Now they've had other kind of shows down there, I'm sure.
Right.
But where does it stop? Well, where does it stop?
Just like you, and then regardless. Go ahead, Robbie.
There was another show just, I think it was last weekend or weekend before. It was PRI, which is all automotive stuff, and that was up in Indy, downtown Indy.
And they canceled it.
No, they did not cancel it.
Oh, they had one. Okay. Well, see, and like I think what Greg's biggest point is that the truck show management, the people that throw the show, they probably don't want to cancel the show, but all of the big money vendors that bring in and spend all the money on the big displays and the big booths, they might back out. You might have a large number of them backing out. I mean, we've already seen it where they've had to kind of redo their thing because the what do you call it, Peterbilt, Freightliner, and International, all of them said it's not worth it for us to come out there and spend that money. So they're not coming. They skip a year.
Why would they spend their money now, Ed? You got truck manufacturers out there now. You can't even get trucks. They're saying that they're a year or a year and a half out before you can buy a new truck. Why the hell are you going to come down there and show your trucks off and try to take orders on trucks? And these guys ain't going to buy trucks if they know it's going to be 2 years down the road before they can get one.
And trailers too.
They're going to buy anything if they can't get it, in a reasonable amount of time.
Yep. Trailers too. Trailers are the same way.
Why should they waste their money?
Exactly. You're right about that. That's you're sure. I mean, like I said, Greg said it, and I agree with him. It would be surprising if it would be a big surprise if they didn't cancel it. But I mean, like I said, we hope. I mean, Greg is part of this. He's got just as much in it as anybody else, and Greg's been one of the founders for the longest time, just like me. And it benefits us to have a show. We want a show. We need a show. Redneckanize needs a show. But again, we're not going to be pussyfooting around here. We know what's in the air. So yeah, anything's possible. So all
we can do is hope for the best. But expect.
Exactly. And planning for the worst, it's kind of what we do here. We get on YouTube and Facebook and make fools of ourselves. That's what we do. Because apparently that's what makes money.
Well, I tell you what, I can do that with the best too.
There you go. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, this has been a great show. Had a lot of fun. This is the last show of the year. We got there's only one Sunday left. The next show, I plan on it being the 2nd, January 2nd, Sunday, 6:00 Central, 7:00 Eastern time. And there won't be a show on the 26th, which is the day after Christmas. I'll be with family. And of course, everybody else should be with family. So we wouldn't, we don't want to do it anyway.
You are.
And if we did have a show, I hope nobody would be listening because I hope they're with family. So yeah, that's so the 2nd of January is the next show for 2022, new year, and everything's coming up then. So everybody, I hope joins us then. And like I said, this is the last show of the year. So fellas, man, this has been one wild ride this year. We did this radio show. I didn't think we were going to do that good, but apparently people liked it. They don't like it enough to call in and spout their opinion, but they like it enough to listen and pay attention.
Yeah, buddy, I like it well enough to ball call and spout my opinion. But hey, all that being all that said, Ed, Tim was saying a little bit, let me know a little bit about, what's going on with your mom.
Yes.
And prayers go out, man. I hope
Appreciate
she's
it.
good. I hope she's doing real good.
Yeah, we're praying for
Hope
that
she's
too.
doing real good. And I didn't know, and she was telling me a little bit about it. I mean, we don't want to go into it, but yeah,
Well,
God bless her, man. I hope she does good.
I'm probably a whole lot like my mother. My mother doesn't complain, which is one of the main
Right.
reasons why she gets sick and nobody knows it, because she doesn't complain. So
Right.
I'm probably like her. I go through a little problem with her, and I don't complain about it, and I don't tell people. So that way, because
Right.
everybody else has got their own problems. I'm not one to burden people with theirs,
Right.
but yeah, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate that, and she's doing well now. In fact, I just talked to her yesterday. And she's the grandkids have got their have helped her decorate the tree, and so she's got
Good
her
deal.
tree decorated. She's all excited about that, and then she's a big football fan, so she's excited about the football games coming up. She's
Good.
hoping for that,
Good.
so she's looking forward to doing that, and of course spending time with family and everything. So
Good.
so we're all excited
Good.
about it, getting the holidays going. So yep, good deal.
Yep.
Good deal.
Get everything done. Get your work done and everything, and get up there with family and enjoy the holidays. And
Yep.
hey, we'll talk. We'll probably be talking to you at the end of the year or next year.
Good deal. Sounds good, bud.
All right, Ed.
Yep, I'm all right.
Have a good evening.
Yep.
Richard, be careful. I'll talk to you later on. I mean, Robbie. I said Richard. I'm sorry. I meant Robbie.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
All right.
Good deal.
I'm not the one who's
Later,
doing
you
this
know.
All right now.
tonight.
Good deal. All right.
Been fun.
All right, have a
Yep.
good night.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Good deal.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, Ed.
Yep. Good deal. All right. So yeah, everybody, just make sure you check out what's going on with us. Oh. So yeah, so as I'm doing live radio right now on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, there is a Amber Alert, and it's Fairview, Texas, 14-year-old white female, last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt and camouflage leggings. Call 911. Just as I'm sitting here, went off the phone. But yeah, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull back up. Oh, where's it at? I closed it. Go back over here. And I'm going to go pull up Dave Gore's new single, and we're going to play that going out, because that's rocking and rolling. So here we go. All right, there you go. Hey, everybody, be sure to check out our website, redneckanize.com. And don't forget to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate all that good stuff out there. And you can comment, share, like, all that good stuff. And be sure to go register for the truck show in March. Even though we were talking about it could be canceled, you never know. But it's free to register. Truckingshow.com. It's March 24th, 25th, 26th in Louisville, Kentucky, at the convention center. And the parking lot is the Cardinal Stadium parking lot. If you get on Google Earth, you'll be able to check that out and see all that going on. But until then, y'all stay safe and stay successful out there. This is Redneckanize Radio, and everybody have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll see you.
Never through. They may say the war is done, but each day we lose another 22. You sure as hell may have that right. All of freedom don't come free. It's about respect for those who fall and die, not a time to take a knee. It's time we stand together as one nation under God. Salute the red, white, and blue. Set aside our politics and differences 'cause that's what all America should do. You sure as hell may have that right. All the freedom don't come free. It's about respect for those who fall and die. Not a time to take a knee. It's time we stand together as one nation under God. Salute the red, white, and blue. Set aside our politics and differences, 'cause that's what all America should do. 'Cause that's what all America should do.